This is very interesting. Huh.
Must be 3 dormers.
Yeah, looks like probably 3 dormers. I've just never seen them. It doesn't even have the sheathing on. How would you put the window in before the sheathing? Because you know, you've got plywood. So why? I don't know.
Vision.
You know.
This door is crooked.
I don't know. And that belt thing. Maybe, I don't know. They're going to face that off? Or how's it? It looks a little funky to me, but...
You go to the other side. It's already all chipped up.
Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this is... What are these called? Enviro shakes. Okay. Interesting. Raised. Termite proof. Okay. Well, we got plywood. Well, this is odd. We got pressure treated up there and regular plywood for the roof.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. Not that that's what we're going to talk about, but when I was back in the States, I bought some other coffee filters. And I just tried them. This is the second cup of this. This is Colombian coffee. And I put the coffee filters, rinsed them off, did all that kind of stuff. And it was like, I taste paper. So I said, okay, well, maybe, but no. I let it cool. I still tasted paper. So what I did was I made another cup with the Chemex, and the Chemex filters, of course. No more paper taste. So those coffee filters are no good. Anyway, so I've been back for, what, a couple days now. And 2 days? Yeah, a couple. We haven't done a whole lot, a couple beach walks. We've been still getting things finished off in here, bits, you know, little bits and pieces, stuff like that, but nothing, you know, nothing great going on. It's sort of like, you know, going on a trip. You go to the airport, you hurry up, get to the airport, and then you wait, and you wait, and you wait. And that's sort of where we are right now, is it's like, I've done everything preliminary I could do. When I went back, we were going to dig the cellar hole, put the driveway in, but it's just been so wet that there's no way. We would have dug that up and it would have just, you know, filled up with water. It would have acted as a big pool because the rest of the land would have all drained into it. So we didn't do that. So all the pieces that I've, you know, gotten done are done. There's nothing more that I can do from here because, well, one, it's here, but all the pieces are planned, all the stuff has been priced out, everything that can be done is done. So basically we've got little bits and pieces around here to do, but not all that much. Like I've got some coffee I'm gonna roast and give to some friends and stuff so they can still be testing it, see how it is. You know, one of the things I did while I was away, before I went away, I tried a little experiment and I roasted the coffee a little longer than I usually do because I wanted to see what would happen. You know, would it develop oils at that temperature? Would it not? That kind of thing. And mostly what I found was that in most of the coffees that I brought back, roasted to that higher temperature, they did develop the oils. And that's, to me, that's not a good thing because oil isn't one of those things you really want to see on coffee beans. So, you know, because picture oil sitting around in heat, you know, it's not a great thing. So I'm going to do some more roasting and bring it down, you know, and this is one of those funny things. It's only bringing it down about 10, 15 degrees. So How that's going to affect it, I'm not really sure, but I know it's going to have some effect. Island-wise, it's really kind of strange because here we are, it's the end of May, and I don't understand, but it's much quieter tourist-wise than it has been for years. I never remember a lull like this in the last few years. Why? I have no idea. But these are all the little bits and pieces that have been going on and everything else. A friend came over and I gave him some tools and equipment and stuff like that that he can use. And you know, we were talking and he said, yeah, things are really slow. And I said, okay, so what are you doing? And luckily in his case, he does electrical work, he also does air conditioning, so he has something to fall back on. And you know, mostly he was doing electrical and wanted to get out of air conditioning, but because of the downturn, he's had to go back into doing AC. And I mean, right now he's grateful because other than that, he wouldn't be doing much. And you know, I've talked to different people and everything, and one of the more prominent builders on the island right now is doing nothing. So, you know, again, that's island-wise, the economy, that's a little bit troubling because there's not any, if we're in you know, a good tourist climate, lots of people coming, money coming in, properties being bought, all that kind of stuff, and everybody's not busy, I don't know. Yeah, something's up, and I don't know exactly what that is, whether this is just a lull period or whatever. But you know, I've also done construction since what, early 80s, and construction as a whole goes in cycles. I don't care if it's here or it's there, and the cycle tends to be like when I started, it was like this, and you could work 25 hours a day, 7 days a week, and still not keep up. But then all of a sudden, something happens in the economy, there's a recession, whatever happens. And which is, you know, the reason why I've done other things during my life other than just construction, because in those downtimes can be year, 2 years, whatever. And, you know, if you still got to make a living, you've got to do something else in that meantime. And I see, you know, we've been on the real top here. Everybody's busy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm wondering if we're starting the curve downward, and that's why there's a decrease. We've kind of maxed out a lot of the construction stuff, and now we're moving more into a lull period, you know, that everybody who has bought and built is done so, and there'll still be some here and there, but not that big, everybody's building, everybody's doing something. It's just a funny time right now because, you know, like I said, I know a lot of people here, and a lot of them aren't busy at all. I mean, I just saw one of them the other night, and he works for a builder, and he and family were out fishing. You know, I didn't want to say anything, but that may not be just for fun. He may need that food, fish, for real eating, because that's what happens. There's no social services here. So if you're not working, you don't go down to the local unemployment office and get unemployment. That's not how it works. You're working, you get money. You're not working, you don't get money. So that's a tough thing. So we'll see what happens. But for us, we're just sort of like in a, you know, when the airplane's circling the airport, we're sort of like in a holding pattern and just not much going on, not much that we can do, ready to move forward. But for now, this is the holding pattern. Oh, the other thing is, if any of the videos look a little funny or whatever, I've taken home the bulk of the cameras. All that's left here is the iPhone, the DJI Pocket Osmo, and the GoPro. I wanted all little stuff, so I didn't have a bunch that was all in the last trip. Drones went home. Everything's gone back that way because, well,
Not leaving it here.
right, I'm not going to leave it here. I'm going to use it, and I can't take it all in one trip. There's just too many. That was partly the trip that I went back. So that's why if the video looks a little different or whatever, that's why.